Hello, my friends. It's your favorite girl, the global home cook. Today, I made a foriro, or what you would call vegetable soup, with pounded yam. So I started off by washing my beef, and I went on to add my seasoning. I added some onion granules, some cayenne pepper, and seasoning. Then I went on to stir that together, added a little water, and allowed that to boil. And so that was boiling. See that beef looking really, really nice. So after that was ready, I set that aside and added palm oil into my pot. Went in with some onions, allowed that to fry a bit. I think for about 1 minute, allowed that to fry. And then I went in with my blended pepper mix. So for my blended pepper mix, I use bell peppers, long red pointed peppers, as well as scotch bonnet and some onions. I did not allow that to blend smoothly. I gave it a rough blend. It's usually very nice for this particular vegetable dish, so pay attention to that when making yours. Make sure that your pepper is not smoothly blend. Make it rough. Okay, and so while I put that in my pot, I stirred that nicely and allowed it to fry. I left that for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, but check to see if that's okay for you. And while that was going on, in another pot, I added my yam. This is already peeled, and allowed that to boil, getting ready for my pounded yam. So I went back to check my pepper sauce. That was, seasoning very nicely. But it had not given me the feel that I wanted, so I left it for a bit more. I stirred a bit more, allowed it to fry for another 5 to 10 minutes, and added some salt and some crayfish. For this particular meal, please feel free to use loads of crayfish. You can use stock fish, you can use dry fish, any kind of fish that you have would do. It actually elevates the taste of this meal. Fish is such a great elevator of this meal. Okay, so I added some Knorr seasoning to that, and I stirred that as well and allowed it to continue frying. Okay, so yeah, I added in my beef into the pepper sauce. You can use any kind of beef that you have. It would work nicely as well. I think I added a bit of goat meat into mine as well, so feel free to use what you really like for your beef meals. Okay, so after adding my beef, I went in with the beef stock. Please make sure that your beef stock is not a lot of water, because you need to be conscious that the vegetable you'll be using will still extract some water, and you don't want your sauce to just feel very watery, right? So I then went in with my kale. The way I prepared this kale was, after I cut them, I boiled some hot water, poured into the kale, left that for about 1 minute, and then poured some cold water on it, and then I squeezed that into and then put that into the sauce. Now for the kale, I like it to boil for a bit more, because it's a vegetable that is kind of hard. So it's not one of those veggies that I just put and then lower the heat. I like to just boil it a bit more, and so I added that to the sauce and I left it for about 2 minutes, and then I went in with my spinach. Now for spinach is a softer veggie. I don't like to leave spinach at all on fire, so I added spinach. Later on, you can see me adding the spinach there. So I added spinach. I stirred nicely into the sauce and then allowed on low heat for about 2 minutes. Okay, so it's time to make our pounded yam. The yam that I cut earlier on in the video is now ready. It's now soft, so I put that in my food processor. Some people use the regular mortar and pestle, but here I'm going to be using my food processor. It works as well. And then I cover that up and I allow it to blend until I get the texture that I want. And once that is well blended, I add in a little water so that it can be succulent and soft, and you will see that as we go along in the video. And so once I've gotten my required texture for my pounded yam, I bring that out and I prepare to serve, and this tastes really yummy. I think you should try it. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. See you on the next one. Bye.